reason, but what is the reason why you moved to Houston?
Well, look, first of all, like every time I've experienced Houston, like when I was out here, I ran into random acts of kindness. Like the people have been good to me. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of the places that I'm like, man, or maybe Houston, like Houston or Miami popped into my head. Mm-hmm. They said 58%. I said, what? You my partner? The IRS is my partner now? Oh no, all you get is a Yankee hat? I'm going to Houston.
Looks like 50 Cent just lit a fire that nobody saw coming. This ain't just about rap beef anymore. He's dropping hints that his beef with J Prince and Supreme McGriff's crew runs way deeper than anyone imagined. And from what he's spilling, this could have been life or death serious. At first, folks thought it was just the same old drama. 50 refusing to check in when he hit Houston, J Prince taking it as disrespect. But now, 50's flat out claiming there was a real plot to take him out. And he's pointing fingers. The wildest part? Word is Supreme's own son might have been in the mix. And it gets messier. Even Rick Ross might be playing chess in the shadows, teaming up with 50's known rivals just to make the heat even hotter. With 50 pulling the curtain back on these hidden links between J Prince, Supreme's legacy, and these slick behind-the-scenes moves, the puzzle's starting to look deadly clear. So is this why 50 suddenly ghosted Houston? Was there really a trap waiting for him behind closed doors? Here's how it all connects. It started in Houston, a city J Prince runs like his own kingdom. Artists who roll through are expected to check in. They say it's about respect, but plenty of people see it as more like a quiet shakedown, especially when some still end up hurt even after showing that so-called respect. When 50 Cent packed up and moved to Houston, J Prince expected him to play by the city's unspoken street rules. But 50 wasn't having it. He straight up refused to check in, letting everyone know he didn't owe a thing to anybody. He had his own muscle, his own fortune, and he wasn't about to bow to codes he didn't respect. To J Prince, that was the ultimate slap. Not just disrespect, but a challenge to his authority. And 50 wasn't just passing through. He made Houston his home. He even tweeted, "I love New York, but I live in Houston now." And folks figured it was all about dodging those insane New York taxes, which made sense for a businessman. But the truth? There was way more behind it. He had huge plans. A $20 million G-Unit film studio, alcohol branding plays, community donations, and school projects. He was setting up an empire right in J Prince's backyard.
A certain protocol for people to check in?
No, and I begin with me, and then he can speak, and they can speak for the other generation. But I'm never, you know what I mean? We don't have time for no sucker shit like that.
But here's where it got tense. No check-in, no permission, no nod to the so-called gatekeepers. It didn't take long for the whispers to start. Talk of quiet pressure, closed doors, and people keeping a close eye on him. Rumors flew that certain crews were just waiting for him to slip. But 50 didn't blink. He doubled down, convinced that all this check-in talk was nothing more than a polite word for straight-up extortion, and honestly, 50 might be onto something. Even folks who did check in still found themselves in messy, dangerous situations. Look at Takeoff. He checked in and still ended up gone. Jacob the jeweler, pressed. XXX Tentacion tried to lay low and still got hit. So from 50's point of view, why hand over cash and power for protection that doesn't even work? He saw it for what it was. Fake security wrapped in street politics. And after everything he survived, fear doesn't come easy for him. But then, out of nowhere, something shifted. 50 quietly pulled out of Houston. The massive film studio plans, gone. Moved everything to Shreveport, Louisiana. It was a low-key move, but the message was loud. People were baffled. This was the city that literally gave him a key to the streets. Why bounce now? The answer slipped in just one interview line. Houston didn't embrace me the way I expected. That said it all. Something in the air had changed, and it didn't feel safe. What's wild is, during all this, Houston was still honoring him. He was the Grand Marshal of the Thanksgiving Parade. November 24th was declared 50 Cent Day in the city. The mayor was showing love. The crowd was clapping. But one man wasn't smiling. J Prince. Behind the scenes, sources say he was heated. In his eyes. 50 was moving through Houston like it was his city. Too much power, too much spotlight, and still no check-in. This wasn't about clout anymore. This was about control. And 50 was snatching it. But just when things seemed to cool down, another name dropped into the mix, Supreme McGriff. And if you know 50's past, you know that name carries weight.
So today, we have the honor of saying to him, he's our 2022 Grand Marshal. Give it up to Curtis 50 Jackson.
Back in the early 2000s, 50 got shot 9 times. Street Talk says Supreme's crew might have been connected to that hit. That heat came after 50 dropped Ghetto Quran, a track where he named names and spilled details on Queen Street legends. And yeah, Supreme was one of them. In the streets, that wasn't just a song. That was straight up snitching in their eyes. And Supreme didn't take that lightly. Not long after, 50 got sprayed but survived, skyrocketed to fame, and flipped that near-death story into his personal brand. Meanwhile, Supreme got buried in the system with a life sentence. Through it all, he never flipped. And in street culture, that kind of silence earns serious respect. But 50? He turned that whole chapter into gold. Interviews, verses, movies. Trauma became his business model, and Supreme never forgot. Then there's Irv Gotti, a major piece in this puzzle. Irv wasn't just cool with Supreme, they were family. He helped bankroll Supreme's legal fight, stood by him when the walls closed in, and never snitched. That loyalty was everything to Supreme, but to 50, Irv was the man behind Murder Inc. The same label 50 later crushed. 50 didn't just take down Ja Rule, he left Murder Inc. in ruins. And even after Irv Gotti passed, 50 kept throwing shade.
Like 50, there's only 4 niggas that I know personally in Queens that wasn't scared of Preem. 50, E-Money Bags, Homo, and Big Nose Troy.
When news broke that Irv died from a stroke, 50 posted a pic of himself smoking hookah next to a fake gravestone captioned, "I'm smoking on Dat Gotti pack, God bless him. LOL. The day before, when Irv had the stroke, 50 wrote, "Damn, I wanted him to see my new shows." That didn't sit right with Supreme's son, McGriff Jr. He snapped on Instagram saying, "If I said I was smoking on your mother and your grandfather pack, ninjas would be telling me I'm wrong, right?" He called 50 a clown, adding, "Y'all really love this clown. Well, I'm gonna always give the same energy. Nobody can tell me nothing." For Supreme, Irv was family. So disrespecting Irv was like disrespecting him. And here's where it got dangerous. 50 started dropping cryptic clues online. Snakes in the grass, enemies moving in silence, making it clear he knew something big was brewing. Then, allegedly, 50 leaked info hinting at talks between J Prince's crew and Supreme's son, plotting to set him up, push him out, or worse. And 50 didn't whisper it. He wanted the world to see. He even started trolling J Prince directly, calling him out and daring him to show up. Just when you thought this couldn't get any hotter. Rick Ross stepped right into the picture. Ross and 50 have been beefing for years. Lawsuits, personal shots, family drama, the whole 9. They don't mess with each other, period. But now, Ross was spotted hanging with people from Supreme's circle. To most folks, that might seem random, but to 50?
It's for you, man. You the only one in Miami with that, baby. You know the see what it is. You know the vibes. See what it is. Yeah.
That looked like a straight-up alliance. Ross linking with the son of the man who once tried to end him. That's not just bold, that's a message. And here's where it gets wild. Word on the street is that little meetup wasn't just for clout. Allegedly, it was part of a bigger move. A setup to get 50 out of the way for good. Sources claim Supreme McGriff Jr. is done playing nice. Especially after 50 kept taking shots at Irv Gotti online, even after his passing. With J Prince stepping into the mix, the stakes shot through the roof. See, J Prince's issue isn't just 50 refusing to check in, he's allegedly looking to make an example out of him. If 50 walks away from all this untouched, other rappers might stop respecting the check-in culture altogether. And here's the thing, 50 better keep his head on a swivel. J Prince isn't just some music exec. His roots run deep. Word is, he came up with real street muscle and real connections. By the late 80s, his name was already in federal files, with whispers of routes from Mexico running product through Texas, Louisiana, and even Chicago. This wasn't small-time hustle. This was organized, and it was global. Around that same time, J Prince allegedly linked up with Larry Hoover, the founder of the Gangster Disciples. And once that connection clicked, the whole game shifted. From Houston to the Midwest, a full pipeline opened up. And J Prince was right in the middle of it. Then, almost out of nowhere, Rap-A-Lot Records was born. On paper, it was a label to shine a spotlight on Houston talent. But in the streets, folks whispered it was way more than just music. Some believed it was a front, a way to flip dirty money into clean cash. The feds weren't sleeping on it either. By '88, the DEA had J Prince and Rap-A-Lot under a full-scale investigation, tracking shipments, tapping phones, watching safe houses, flipping drivers, pressuring associates. They were building something heavy. And then, just when it looked like they had him cornered, the whole case vanished. By the late 90s, the U.S. Attorney General dropped everything. No charges, no trial, no noise. That doesn't just happen by luck, not unless you've got serious pull in high places. Now fast forward to today, and 50 Cent might be stomping on toes that have been dangerous to cross for decades. So the real question is he ready for the kind of smoke that never fades? See, this is why 50's situation ain't just regular rap drama. He's poking at a network with history, reach, and receipts going back decades. J Prince isn't some fly-by-night figure. He's a man whose name's been tied to power moves in both the streets and the boardroom. And when someone with that kind of background feels disrespected, things have a way of getting real dangerous, real quick. Right now, all these pieces, Supreme's son, Rick Ross, J Prince, they're not just random names in the mix.
The idea of my father, seeing that it was connections to Drake and Kanye, and that they were such iconic figures, and with them going through things.
It's like a storm forming, and 50's standing dead in the center. Every jab he throws online, every post, every name drop, it's adding more heat to the fire. And while the public sees memes and jokes behind the scenes, the whispers are saying moves are being made. Quiet conversations, strategic alliances, people checking where 50's moving, who he's around, and whether there's an opening to make a statement. If history's any guide, this kind of pressure doesn't just fade, it builds until somebody finally makes their move. And if that happens, 50's going to need more than witty captions and Instagram posts. He's going to need eyes everywhere, because in this game, the biggest threats don't announce themselves. They just appear. And here's the twist. 50 doesn't scare easy, but this ain't the kind of pressure you can just laugh off. Every major name circling his situation has history with power plays, and none of them are known for letting disrespect slide. Supreme's son has personal reasons to see him gone. Rick Ross would love nothing more than to watch him stumble, and J Prince, he's built a reputation on controlling his territory and protecting it at all costs. What's wild is, while 50's trolling hard online, he's also moving like someone who knows the heat is on. Fans have noticed. Fewer public appearances in certain cities, quick in and out trips, heavy security presence wherever he pops up. Some people think it's just him being cautious. Others believe he's already dodged one or two close calls. And the streets, they're talking. Some say there's been quiet sit-downs, where certain voices are pushing for a lesson to be taught. Not through headlines, but through actions people will feel. The kind of moves that send a message without a single word being spoken. If all these rumors are even half true, then this isn't just a rap feud anymore. It's a high-stakes game where the wrong step could be final. And the craziest part, we might be watching it all play out in real time. So what's really going on here? Is 50 Cent just being paranoid? Or is he smart enough to call it before something big drops? Could there really be a setup brewing in the shadows? Or are we just watching a dangerous game of ego and power play out in plain sight? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. I want to know where you stand on this. And trust me, if this situation keeps heating up, you know we'll be right here breaking it all down piece by piece. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications, and share this with someone who needs to see it. The drama's nowhere near done, and I'll see you on the next one.